Welcome to another unboxing video from theplayersaid.com. My name is Grant. Today I'm unboxing a brand new edition of the 2007 game Espana 1936. This one is published by Devir. The first one was as well, and just came out. Looks great. Significant upgrade to the art, the board, the components. It just looks a lot better, I think. And the game looks really cool. It covers the Spanish Civil War from 1936 to 1939, and really looks very interesting. I read through some of the entries on Board Game Geek, and people really rave about this. So I'm always in for a good operational game on the Spanish Civil War. Not something I've played a ton of games on, a couple, but definitely one that looks very interesting. The designer is Antonio Catalan, and then the artist is Joan Gaudier. Looks really good. Whatever they did does look really good. The box is really thick and heavy. It's packed to the gills. You can see the back of the box here. The game plays in about 2 to 3 hours, and it is a 2-player game. The map is point to point and does use counters. So this is definitely I think a war game. Very much looks really cool. It doesn't use a CRT of any way, but it is definitely a war game. So once again, this is the brand new edition from Devir, and it just released maybe a month or two ago. So let's go ahead and dive into the box. First thing you see is the rule book, both in English and in Spanish. So I'll put the Spanish rule book aside. I don't speak Spanish, obviously. One thing I noticed about the rule book immediately, it looks to be or appears as if it's a newspaper. Right, the headline, it doesn't look exactly like a newspaper would, but I think the paper choice, as well as the layout of the title of the rule book, in my opinion, gives me the feel of a newspaper. So that's kind of a neat choice. There's a look at the back of the rule book. Nothing, obviously. There are 35 pages in the entire rule book. You can see the entire last page is a designer's notes. And there is the art cover for the first game, first edition in '07. I think it looks pretty good, though, frankly. But I do like the new treatment. Definitely very, very cool. Here is a timeline, a historical timeline of the war, the Spanish Civil War. This is laid out in the turns of the game, turn 1 through turn 9. So that's kind of a neat addition. And then on the back, you have examples of play here as you kind of go through the rule book. This is a naval battle, airplanes against ships, how to repair ships. Fairly dense rule book here. You're going to get 30 to 32 pages of rules, but it looks, once again, the last couple of pages appear to be the advanced rules. La Armada, that was one of the expansions. I think it came out in '08 or '09. But it has been included in this version of the game, which is kind of cool. So you get an expansion as well. Here is the scenario setup. This is the 1938 scenario setup. And then here at the bottom, you have the advanced rules for that setup as well. Always like it graphically when they show you how to set the game up. And then here is a look at the... Are these turns of appearance of these units or cards? You know, those are the cards, but yeah, nice looking rule book. Really very much like it. Like how it's laid out. Haven't read through it, so don't know how well it's translated or comes across, if it's simple to understand or clear. But the presentation is nice, and definitely like the look and feel of the graphic art style. Nice looking counters. We'll get into those here in just a moment. There's also on the first 2 pages a brief history of the conflict, which is really, really cool. I play a lot of these historical games because I want to learn and better understand the history. Next thing we encounter here are the counters. They are bound together with this paper tie. I'll just throw that away. There's a lot of counters here. There are, looks like 6 full sheets of counters, and then you have this half or 3 counter sheet. But there's a look at some of the units. Very nice looking. Once again, like the silhouette. Those are probably control markers there. And then over on the back, there are more of those units with 2 combat strength or power. Nice feeling counters. They're pre-rounded, so very nice. You're not going to have to clip these at all. This is a very well-produced game, and you're going to be able to get in, learn it, and play pretty quickly. These appear to be player boards. That side is in Spanish, and this side is in English, so dual-sided. And in here you have your replacement points. You store your units here. Generals and airplanes has the nice sequence of play. It discusses how battles work right in the middle. And then you have the turn sequence kind of continues there through step 6. So those are nice. More units here. These appear to be generals. Yeah, these are generals. Franco, Mola, Devir, Varela, and Yagu, or Yagüe, probably. And then these are pretty cool, dual-sided. Really like the iconography, the look and feel of that. There's the other player board, the Republican, and the other one is the fascist or national player. Similar counters there. Here, the strength of the units increase to 3, and then they are 5 on the back. These are infantry, obviously, and then there are a bunch of, here are some tanks. Really like the kind of the look of those tank counters. Those are pretty cool. And then here you have biplanes. Very nice. Love the size. They make them stand out so that you know what is what. And then here are some German planes as well, an Me-109, Ju-52. Obviously, the Nazis helped. And this is a Strait of Gibraltar kind of movement token or icon that's probably placed on the board to remind players. And then here is another one for the Mediterranean. This says the Republican side draws 1 more card and can use 1 more card as an event. So obviously control of these are pretty important. Here we get on to some naval units. You have some subs, some cruisers and battleships, more tanks, more biplanes here. And these are some additional, the Cantabrian Sea. The Nationalist side draws 1 less card from their deck. Oviedo and Bilboa cannot be used as ports. And then this one is Balearis, the Balearic Islands. So those are kind of cool. I want to see how those fit in on the board. And then these are, well, kind of odd to have an entire one of these in it. That could have been done without the counter sheet or sprue around it. This is the combat board. This side is in Spanish. This side is in English. So you place your military units, and then here's who's in combat. And then you have support sides. The generals are placed here in these. And then airplanes and tanks are used down there to support those attacks. And then you have used unit boxes. So that's kind of cool. Yeah, it's going to be a pretty cool game. More of the same. Control markers. More infantry, larger infantry, 5s and 3s. Great looking counters. Very simple, but nice and clean look. A bunch of cards. Look at that. So let's go ahead and look at the board. That's the next thing I pulled out. This is a hard-mounted map board. Very sturdy. Looks great. But it's simple, right? This is not a board that I think is going to knock your socks off. But I think it's clear. It is a point-to-point movement board, but here at the top you can't quite see that, but you got Francia, France up there, you have Portugal here, Here's the Med, the Strait of Gibraltar. Kind of the turn track here, very interestingly presented. And then here you have victory points. Yeah, very simple, straightforward, looks nice, clean, easy to, and it actually folds out pretty well. Yeah, I really like the graphic style. I think it's a nice touch. You have a bag of blocks here, and then you have some stickers that go. These are probably, yeah, not really sure what those are. Should have looked into that a little bit, but those are, man, those are big chunky blocks. And those stickers are pretty nice, so they're going to go on there probably just to use on the turn track. Who knows? Big bag of 6-sided dice, blue and red, plenty of those. And then you have 4 decks of cards. And these are sorted by the years. These are 1936. The 2 of these are 1936. And then these are, they say 1938. 1938 to 39 and 36 to 37. So really nice big decks of cards. Let's go ahead and open these. There's always a trick to opening these. They've got the little, there you go, the zip that kind of rips them. I'm never great at finding the edges of that kind of thing. But really nice cards. And these are in, so are there 2 of each? Yes. Yeah, so this one's in English. This one's in Spanish. So that's pretty cool. Duolingual board game. Just give you a look at those cards that I've already got. Obviously, you can get units, and then there's, looks like attack modifiers or bonuses at the bottom based on what's happening. This game is a modified card-driven game, right? You're using cards to take actions, fuel things, and then taking those actions out on the board themselves. There's the 1936 national cards and the Francoist cards. And then there's some 37s as well. But yeah, really nice looking cards. Very, very clean, very simple. I don't think, once again, the graphic design in this isn't going to blow your socks off, but I think it's clean and it looks nice and orderly, frankly. And I think that's cool. Here's the cards in English. These are 1938s, 38 and 39s, right? Well, yeah, some 39s. There's not a whole lot of them, but that's kind of cool. Now that I can read that, support and defense, +1 to 2 dice, -1 to 2 dice. That's really cool. So yeah, combat is very simple. Looks like it's kind of a roll-off. Yeah, nice looking cards. Lots of them as well. There is an insert, a cardboard insert. We'll see how that holds up and works out. But this is a really nice looking game. High quality production. And for a second edition, typically that's what you'll find, right? People have upgraded the art and the graphics, made it look nicer. And they've definitely done that here with Espana 1936. So great looking game. Very much excited to get this one played. We were given this as an advance kind of review copy. We're going to get a review up, play it a couple of times, get a review up so that we can share it with you. But looks really good, exciting, great looking little game on the Spanish Civil War from Devir. So thanks for watching. I've been Grant from the Player's Aid.